Man, you are the center of controversy lately. Before we get into some of the show stuff, the consulting for the USA Network. I know the last time we talked, you were kind of not going around it, but you basically said you were consulting for somebody. You didn't say who, but then it came out, I guess, for whatever reason, it came out it was USA. Were you the one that kind of put that out there that you're working for USA, or somebody else mentioned that?
No, yeah, nobody else knew, bro. The only people that knew were me, Ben, and Stevie because they were helping me with it. So I was the one who put that out there.
So what was the capacity? You were just consulting for someone at USA. Are you allowed to say who?
Yeah, hold on, John, because what I want to do, bro, is listen, man, I don't want this. I don't want this going out anywhere. But as we speak, bro, I am going to send you something, and I don't want you to do anything with this, John.
Okay. All right.
This is between you and me.
Okay.
I am going to be forwarding you something right now that I want you to look at while we do this show. And this will be confirmation. This is how I got paid by NBC Universal.
All right. So I see here it says new hire details. I did get the email now,
Okay.
and it's
Don't mention any names or
no,
anything.
no, no,
I don't
and I
want
won't.
these. I don't want these lunatics calling this person.
Right, right. But I see NBC. Obviously, there's another company as well. I'm not going to mention who they are because that's like the HR side of it. And I see
Yeah.
she's from NBC. I mean, I see it,
Yes.
but it says new hire details, and it goes over everything and everything you need to do and put into the system to get paid. So
What's the first thing that it says before it gets in? They need all this information from me to put in this system. What does it say, John? What's the first thing it says?
So this is from January 22nd, 2020 at 3 o'clock. It says, this is regarding your upcoming assignment with NBC Universal.
Okay. So John, does that look like that's something I could have made up?
Not a chance. No. And
Or
especially with,
yeah, I could have written that myself through, I don't know, one of these software programs I don't even know how to use to forward to you so I can make you believe it's legit.
right. And all this other stuff that she put on there. I mean, there's no way that's all corporate new hire stuff. And it's interesting. So you technically were working for NBC Universal, technically speaking.
Yeah, oh yeah. NBC Universal is the mother company of the USA Network, and like
Okay.
you
So they
said,
don't
bro,
spread it off to USA. You're
no,
working for
that's it.
NBC.
That's how I was getting paid. I was getting paid under the NBC Universal umbrella. That's the third party, like you said, whether it's called human resources, whatever it is,
Right.
but
Yep.
that's who handles, putting you in the system. The check came from them every week, bro. I got paid like clockwork every Friday, bro. That money would appear in my account for 2 years. But I've not sent that to anybody, John. I sent it to you because I trust you. But clearly, you can see this is documentation that there is an assignment with NBC Universal dated January 22nd or the 20th.
22nd,
22nd.
2020. Yeah. And it's
Yes.
funny, I got it twice. So you did send it before and it for
Yeah.
some reason didn't go through. But yeah, I
Yeah.
got it twice.
Yeah.
So that is interesting though,
Yeah.
because some people out there were saying that maybe you're making up to stay relevant. Obviously, this would kind of prove that to be wrong. But you were consulting for them, but you hate wrestling.
Yeah.
Why though? Like why the need to do that if you hate the business?
John, can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and again, this is another lie. John, they were paying me 6 figures to do this.
Oh my God.
So,
Okay.
John, listen, John. I'm watching a 3-hour show on Monday night, and then I'm writing a report Tuesday morning, and then they call me whenever they want to talk to me. 6 figures, John. And like I said, John, I have no. Again, you just said something very important. You hate wrestling. I'm working with the network. I'm not working with the WWE. I'm working with a television network. So we're talking television. I am telling them about, the formatting of the show is all wrong. The way they go in and out of commercials, there's no cliffhangers. We're really talking about television. And I would do this again tomorrow. As much as I say to you, I can't stand wrestling, I don't want to be employed by a wrestling company. Bro, if Turner contacted me tomorrow with this same deal, I would absolutely, without a doubt, do it in a heartbeat. I'm working with a network, bro. We're talking about television. We're talking about ratings. We're talking about, what draws people. That's why they were interested in working with me. Vince, how in God's name did the Attitude Era draw this amount of people? So, bro, like I said, I would work with any network because it's a totally different animal, bro. There's no politics involved. I don't have to go through 100 layers. I am talking to one person. And in this case, it was the president of the USA Network that has moved on, still working in television, and anybody can do the research and find out who it is. I'm not going to mention his name, bro, because I don't need these marks, calling and hounding this guy. You've got the documentation right in front of you. It
Yep.
is crystal clear.
So that is pretty interesting that you're consulting for them. What kind of reports though? Like you literally have to say, I know you're saying cliffhanger, do this, that. So you literally have to watch the show and go over the entire show to them?
Not really, bro. Not really. Kind of, that's not what they really wanted, because at that point, John, the show is already done. So it's like it's being, like a Tuesday morning quarterback. They wanted me to like really, really point out like, okay, Vince, and keep in mind, bro, I did this first thing Tuesday morning before numbers or anything came out. First thing Tuesday morning, just generally, what was your assessment of the show? And then basically, what would you have done differently? Then they would have me, pitch what to do with certain characters, what to do with certain, storylines, send in new storylines. So it was really, bro, like they weren't so interested in the critique of the show because the show's already in the can. This was more of a think tank of what would you have done going forward? What would you do with so and so? What storylines would you create? It was that kind of a thing, bro. It was more of a think tank.
So what do they do with that information?
Well, see, bro, that's the funny part, John, because here's what happened. And again, John, if I'm making this stuff up to you, what a wild imagination I have. Okay.
Right.
This guy that originally signed me up, bro, he'd been dealing with the WWE for years. Hundreds of meetings with Vince, Bruce, Kevin. So he would take my material and he would suggest some of the stuff to them without them having any knowledge it was coming from Vince Russo. And, so he was really pitching, bro, not that they were doing any of it because they won't. Their attitude is, what the hell does the USA Network know about wrestling? Yeah, guys, we'll listen to you. We're open for suggestion. At the end of the day, bro, they ain't going to use any of the USA Network shit. They're not going to. So, but John, here's what happened. The guy left. So they really didn't replace him. They kind of put somebody in his position that was like still the middleman between USA and the WWE and Raw, but he was not a president of the company or a vice president of the company. His role was nowhere as prominent as the first guy. So the first guy recommended to the new guy, I suggest strongly you continue to use Vince. So he did. We went about business with a new guy. The problem was, bro, this guy was dealing with the WWE, the Vince McMahons, the Bruce Pritchards, the Kevin Dunns for the first time. There was no history, like he had no idea what it was going to be like. And quite frankly, John, this dude was so intimidated by Vince and Bruce and the company and Kevin that I sincerely doubt he was sharing any of our stuff with the USA Network. This guy was scared to death of Vince McMahon. So at that point, John, I'll be honest with you, when I kind of saw it was a different relationship from the first person, because with the first person, he was really getting in there. Why don't you guys do this? Why don't you guys try that? Why don't you guys do this? And questioning a lot of things. Why did you guys do that? What? Whereas this new guy, I don't even think he definitely wasn't having weekly conversations with them, but none of our stuff was being presented anymore. So, John, it really got to the point of, bro, this is a waste of time. Like, you guys are paying me a hell of a lot of money. But if you're not going to do anything with this material, like, what's the point? Like,
Right.
Me, Ben, and Stevie, we're sitting there every two, bro. These pages, these reports, John, I would say were an average of maybe 7 to 10 pages, like every single week. So I was like, bro, if you guys are not going to use this, and you're going to be even afraid to suggest anything, then what's the point of doing this? And that's why, bro, basically, about 2 years later, right before WrestleMania 22, that's when we stopped the consulting deal.
They stopped it or you stopped it?
We kind of both did, bro, because we kind of both realized it was useless. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really, bro. So I would say I'll be honest, John, they didn't want to renew it because they weren't utilizing the information. And John, I really didn't want to do it anymore. So I was totally cool and totally fine with it. Everything was cool. I mean, I was a consultant. So I was paid for a year. Then I was paid for another year. Then we decided going forward, he wasn't going to use the consultant services anymore. And I said, okay, fine, no problem. And as a matter of fact, bro, like we still kind of kept in touch and contact here and there. I just wasn't sending in a report every week.
So basically, WB doesn't know. Like I don't think they knew about Ed Ferrara either, right? When he was consulting.
Nope. I was getting paid under the NBC Universal umbrella. That's the third party, like you said. Whether it's called human resources, whatever it is.
Right.
But
Yep.
that's who handles, putting you in the system. The check came from them every week, bro. I got paid like clockwork every Friday, bro. That money would appear in my account for 2 years. But I've not sent that to anybody, John. I sent it to you because I trust you. But clearly, you can see this is documentation that there is an assignment with NBC Universal dated January 22nd or the 20th.
22nd, 2020. Yeah. And it's funny, I got it twice. So you did send it before and it for some reason didn't go through. But I got it twice.
Yeah.
So that is interesting, though, because some people out there were saying that maybe you're making up stay relevant. Obviously, this would kind of prove that to be wrong. But you were consulting for them, but you hate wrestling. Why, though? Like why the need to do that if you hate the business?
John, can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
And again, this is another lie. John, they were paying me 6 figures to do this.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Follow us on Twitter at the Hannibal TV for instant updates.